Good day, children. Hope you all are fine. Today, let us go on with poem Unit 5, The Secret of the Machines, written by Rudyard Kipling. First, let us see about the poet, children. Then we'll come on to the poem. See, he is Rudyard Kipling. Okay, you could have seen him in many of your poems. You could have seen him. He is Rudyard Kipling. Let us see his biography. Rudyard Kipling was born on December 30, 1865 in Bombay, India. He was educated in England but returned to India in 1882. Where was he born, children? He was born in Bombay. He was born in India, but his education, he had his education in England. After his education, he returned to India again in 1882. That is, in the age of 17, he returned India. A decade later, Kipling married Caroline Balestier and settled in Brattleboro, Vermont, where he wrote The Jungle Book in the year 1894. So, a decade later in the sense after 10 years of him returning to India, that is at the age of 27, he married Caroline. And he settled in Brattleboro in Vermont. He settled. Over there, he wrote a book named as The Jungle Book. And this Jungle Book, children, it became very familiar. It gained him much name and fame. Through this Jungle Book, he was known as all-rounder poet. He was known as, among a host of other works that made him huge successful. That is, among a host of all the other works, children, this Jungle Book, it made him much familiar. He became a very successful poet. Kipling was the recipient of the 1907 Nobel Prize in Literature. He died in 1936. So, in the year 1907, he received a Nobel Prize in Literature. And he died in the year 1936. That is, at the age of 71, he passed away. Now, let us see Kipling's poem, children. One of the poem, about the machines. Let us see what he has narrated in his poem. Now, coming to the poem, The Secret of the Machine. What is that secret of the machine, children? We all have seen machine, isn't it? So many machines we have seen. But what is that secret in the machine? We should know how it works, isn't it? So, let us see what he says in his poem. The poem deals with the problem of modern technology and automation. In the beginning, the reader gets informed about how machines are produced. Isn't it, children? This entire poem, it deals with technology and automation, how it works. And in the beginning, the reader, he gives the information about how machines are produced and what kind of treatment they need. Even machines, they need some treatment, children, not only human being. Machines also, they need the treatment. Where you don't give good treatment to the machine, they will stop working. That's what the poet says. We'll see what treatment he is saying. Afterwards, the machines explain how they can serve humanity. Only if you treat the machine well, machine will serve you well. The poem ends with the statement that machines, although capable of great deeds, are still nothing more than creations of human brain. So, what is Rudyard Kipling narrating in his poem, children? He says, machines are capable to do great deeds, very big deeds, what human cannot do, children. Sometimes a machine, it does it. But whatever it is, children, whatever great deeds the machine does it is nothing but creation of human brain. First, the poet, he shows the greatness of the machine. As the poem gets over at the end, he says, whatever the machine is great, it is nothing but it is a creation of human brain. So, who is greater, children? If you see like this, is the machine greater or human greater? Who is greater? We'll see at the end of the poem now. Okay. Now, let us see what Kipling says in his poem. where you come to the poem, no, children, you will come to know what Kipling says. Whom does he says to be greater? Either the human or the machine. Now, coming to the poem, children. Now, before I could start with the poem, children, I would like to tell you one thing. See, this poem is a memory poem, children. I told you before, no? Wherever you come across a star, see, you have a star over here. Wherever you children, it is a memory poem. Now, the secret of the machine is a memory poem, children. You have to memorize this full poem. I'm telling you again, children, don't just memorize 2 or 3 stanzas, nothing doing, children. You have to memorize full poem. You must be alert, children. And moreover, in your question paper, you don't have option for the poem. You must remember that there is no option for poem. Only one poem is given where you have to write. It is compulsion that you have to write. Now, coming to the poem, children, let us see the explanation part. We were taken from the ore bed and the mine. We were melted in the furnace and the pit. We were cast and wrought and hammered to design. We were cut and filed and tooled and gauged to fit. Now, what is the machine saying? We'll see. We were taken from the ore bed and the mines. Now, where is the machine? We say machines, no, children. Now, how was this machine made? From where is this machine taken? Is the machine taken from anywhere else? No, it is not taken, children. It is made. But how does the poem says we were taken? He says as raw material. Now, this raw materials, from where do we take this raw material, children? Iron ore and minerals for machines. We take this raw materials, no? Iron ore salt, we take it from the mines. We take from the mines. We were melted in the furnace and the pit. After taking from the mines, how what is done to the mine, to the ore bed? What it is done? The raw material that is taken from the mine, what we do with that? We were melted. We were melted in the sense the raw materials were melted in the furnace. What do you mean by furnace, children? Furnace in the sense, children, no, an enclosed structure in which material is heated to very high temperature. Okay, it is like a vessel where you put all the raw material and you heat that. In a high temperature it is heated. We were casted and wrought and hammered to design. We were casted. Casted in the, children, here we in the sense it is machine who is talking, okay. We were casted. Casted in the sense an object made by shaping molten metal. Okay, we were casted and wrought and hammered. Wrought in the sense we were beaten out to shape. After melting, no, children, you would have seen how iron bars are made, no, in factories. If you Google it, no, children, you can see all that. Okay. Now, after heating, no, children, this raw materials, no, it is heated up in a furnace and then it is taken out. It is hammered to design. No, they hammered to make a design. We were cut and filed and tooled and gauged to fit. Then what they do, they cut it in pieces and they filed. Filed in the sense, you would have seen in iron shops, no, children, how they joint one iron rod to the other. Filing work you would have seen. And tooled and gauged to fit. Gauged in the sense an instrument that measures perfectly. You know, they cut it in a perfect shape. The iron rods are cut in a perfect shape and then they filed it, no? They attach one to the other and that is how they give shape for the machines. Some water, coal and oil is all we ask, and 1,000 of an inch to give us play. And now if you were set us to our task, we will serve you 24 hours a day. Now, some water, coal, and what is the machine looking out for, children? Machine, it doesn't want food like us, children. It wants What is it needed for machine is it wants some water. When the machine goes too hot to chill, you need water. And coal, why you need coal, children? To give energy. As the machine, it heats up, it start working. And oil, as we all ask, why oil? To soften, to move. One machine, when you join one to other, children, see the machine, it moves. You could see how the machine moves. Okay, so for that friction purpose, for the movement, you could see in your textbook, children, how the machine is moving. Okay, you could see those rings, how it moves. And thousands of an inches to give us play. Thousands of inches, which may be the permissible variation from the required dimension, children. See, you could see is thousands of machine. To make one big machine, you need so many parts, so many small parts, thousands of parts you need of an inches to give us play. Inches now, small machines you need. Sometimes you need some small parts to be fixed in it, sometimes big parts in it. So many parts of machines you fix to make a big machine to give us play. To give us play, machine doesn't play, children. Here, to give us play in the sense to work. Okay, to work. Now see, for example, I'll show you here. You could see an engine. Okay, see, you could see an engine. Now in this engine, how thousands of small machines you have, isn't it? You have thousands of small machines to give it play, not to run. Only if you fix many small parts inside it, it starts working. Okay, that is the meaning it says. Okay, and now if you will set us to our task, if you put it to work. Okay, if you set the machine, no, children, unless you operate it, it will not work. It is you who should switch on the switch or to fix the timing, when the machine to start, when to stop. Now, technology is developing day by day. Before all, only if you start the machine, it will work. But now, if you set the time itself, it will start working. And if you set the time to stop, it will stop working. You would have seen in your house appliances itself, you would have seen how it works. We will serve you 4 and 20 hours a day. So what does the machine say, sir? We will serve you for in the sense for 24 hours. Here 4 and 20 in the sense, children, 24 hours, that is the meaning. 4 and 20 24 hours, which is entire day we will serve for you. Who will serve whom? Here machine says, we will work for you 24 hours, entire day we will work with you. It depends on how you set us. We can pull and howl and push and lift and drive, can print and plow and weave and heat and light. We can run and race and swim and fly and dive. We can see and hear and count and read and write. Wonderful lines, no, children? Now see, machine says, what all the work it can does? Machine says, we can pull and howl. What do you mean by howl, children? Drag. Okay, dragging. We can pull and any heavy thing, no, children, you could see with machine, we could pull and push. And lift and drive, even lifting work also, children. Lifting work you would have seen while constructing the building, heavy material where we are not able to lift up, machine is able to lift up. And drive, even driving also, children, where we cannot do it. You could see engines all how it is driven. It is driven by machine. No driver sits and drive, children. It is automated. It does it by itself. Okay, we can run and race and swim and fly and dive. Yes, machine can run and race. If you take for example your train, how it runs, children? It runs fast, isn't it? Engine, how it runs? It runs very fast. Race and swim and fly and dive. Swim. For swim example, you might think, how could machine swim? Doesn't it swim, children? Don't you see a big ships? swimming on the ocean, sailing, which means doesn't it swim? Here, swimming in the sense, no, that is what he mean to say. Fly and dive, flying, aeroplanes it fly, isn't it? Okay. We can see and hear and count and read and write. Yes, we can see and hear. With machines, no, we can see so many machines. We see, we can hear with the machines. We can count and read. Count in the sense, all the counting work is done with no, with calculator. It is done. We can read it. We can write it. All the work is done, children, in your computer. No, you see, hear, count, read, write. All you do with all. How are you able to do it, children? With all machines, you are able to do it. But remember, please, the law by which we live, we are not built to comprehend a lie. We can neither love nor pity nor forgive. If you make a slip in handling us, you die. What the machine says, but remember, please, the law by which we live. The machines, no, it says the law by which we live. They, no, machines also they do have some law, children. You know what law they have? We are not built to comprehend lie. They don't utter lie, just as how human utter lie, no, children. They don't utter lie. Machines, they don't utter lie. We can neither love nor pity nor forgive. Machines, no, children, it could neither love us nor forgive us nor pity us. It cannot pity us. If you make a slip in handling us, you die. You make a slip in the sense where you go wrong in handling us, you may die. That is, very carefully you should handle the machine. If your thoughts were somewhere else, where you are handling the machine, if your thoughts were somewhere else, obviously you die. You would have heard, no, children, many people, the one who work in factories, all know, in big machines where they work, you would have heard so and so person hand went, his leg went, his finger went, he died. So many things you would have heard. That is what the machine says. Be careful when you handle us. Be careful, it says. Though our smokes may hide the heavens from your eyes, it will vanish and the stars will shine again. Because for all our powers and weight and size, we are nothing more than children of your brain. Okay. So in the last stanza, what is he saying? The stanza, designs of the machine. Though our smoke may hide the heavens. What is the smoke? The smoke that comes out of the machine, no, children, that might hide the heavens. Heavens in the sense, the clouds. That's what he says. Heavens, now we are not going to heaven, children. That may hide the clouds from our sight. For some time, no, it might hide the clouds. It will vanish and the stars will shine again. But after sometimes, no, that clouds, those black smokes may not remain for a long. Even that might vanish after sometimes, and you can see the stars that shines. Because of all our power and weight and size, we are nothing more than children of your brain. So what mission says, though we are big enough, no, we are powerful, we are heavy, we are weight, no, we are heavy, we are big in size, we are great, no, we are bigger than comparing to human size. Machines are big enough. They are in weight and size, all they are big enough. Even in power, they are big enough than human. But what are machines? Machines are nothing but they are children of human brain. Who made these machines? It is we, the human, who made the machine. It is our brain who made the machine. So, who is great? Is a machine great or we human great, children? Yes, human, we are great. Our brain is 1,000 times greater than machine. It is we who made the machine. Machine doesn't created us, children. We created the machine. We made the machine. We human made the machine. So we are great. Okay. Last line, what is entire poem? Here in entire poem, the poet says that he is great, the machine is great. No, he is giving importance to the machine. In the entire poem, he gives importance to the machine. But as the poem ends in the last answer, what does the poet says? The poet says, we human are much, much powerful than machines. Why? Because it is our brain that created the machine. Machine didn't create us. We created the machine. Very nice, no children? Yes. Now, children, see, you have, you don't have appreciation, children. But anyways, no, question 9 and 10. I would like to go on with the answer, children. Okay, question 9. Do concentrate. We'll see question 9. And 1/1000 of an inch to give us play. Which of the following do the machine want to prove from this line, children? See, two options given. What is the machine trying to prove? We'll see. Once machines are fed with fuel, they take a very long time to start. Once machines are fed with fuel, they start quickly. Which is the right sentence here? Yes, B is the right. Once machines are fed with fuel, they start quickly, isn't it? Where you feed the machine with fuel, it starts very quick, it starts. Yes, B. B option is the right one. See, only one pair of appreciation is given, children. We'll see. And now if you will set us to our task, we will serve you and 20 hours a day. Who does the pronoun you refers to here? Yes, children, who does the pronoun you refer? You refer to the industrialist and the people using the machines. Whom does the poet says you? You in the sense, you refer to the industrialist and the people using the machines. Whose task is referred to as our task here? The task to be performed for the industrialist by the machines is referred to as our task. Okay. Now, open conditional clause is used in the given lines. Why is the future tense set and will serve used both in the if clause and in the main clause? The future tense will set and will serve is used both in the if clause and in the main clause because to indicate surety and futurity. Okay, why is it said? To indicate surety in the sense sure, for sure, and futurity in the sense even in future. Okay, machines will be helpful in future, that's the meaning. Do the machine serve us 20 hours a day? Yes, the machine serves us round the clock and non-stop the entire day. The machine serves us. Rewrite the given line with the ending 365 days a year. Some water, coal and oil is all we ask. Okay, if you supply this, no, obviously machine will serve us for 365 days a year. For sure, machine will serve us. Yes, children. Now, we shall see. Children, see here explanation is given. Okay, rhyming scheme, rhyming word. See, as I told you how to write. You must go on with the last word of the line. For rhyming word, see, live, forgive. Leave, forgive, the falling sound. It rhymes. Lie, die. It rhymes. The same way, scheme also, children. Live, A. Lie, B. Forgive, same rhyming, okay. Die, it rhymes with lie, BB. Children, rhyming scheme I have done already. Hope you understand. Imagery in the sense what, children? Imagination. The description create a picture in the reader's mind. We can see and hear and count and read and write. Children, how do you say the lines are imagery? In the sense, the moment you read the lines, no, that will create an imagination, that will create a scene in your mind, no, that will create a picture in your mind. That is known as the imagery. Now look at these lines. We can see and hear and count and read and write. So as you read this line, don't you get a glance in your mind? Don't you get a picture in your mind? So that is known as imagery. Now personification. Personification is a figure of speech in which a thing, an idea or an animal is given in human attributes. Now for example, we can pull and howl and push and lift and drive. Now here, how do you say personification in the sense, children? Personification, children, it's given life to the non-living thing. And also, no, it brings the idea of an animals also. Now see, we can pull and howl and push. Now see the machine, no, it says that it can pull and howl and push. What is the poet doing here? It is giving the life to the machine. Okay, now machine, in reality, do machine have life? It doesn't have life. But what is the poet doing? Poet is giving life to the non-living thing. So it is personification. Hyperbole, a figure of speech using exaggeration. Okay, children. So exaggeration, a figure of speech where you use exaggeration, children, it is hyperbole. We are greater than the people and the king. Exaggeration, now more effect, showing more effect. Now see here, we are greater than the people and the king. Who is greater than the people and the king? Mission is greater than people and the king. Assonance. What is assonance? Repetition of two or more vowel sound is known as assonance. Now see here, all we ask, all, it is vowel sound, isn't it? All, ask, it is vowel sound. So it is assonance. Now simile. How do you say simile? Comparing things. Like, where the word you get like or as, it is simile. Now see, greater than the people of the king. Greater than the people, no, it is comparing. People is compared to the king. Now, coming connotation, children, suggests beyond what is expressed. No, beyond the expression it is. Though our smokes may hide the heavens from your eyes. See, smokes, it is hiding the heavens. It is beyond what we expect. That is what connotation, beyond the expresses. Alliteration, repetition of two or more consonant sound. No, I have said alliteration, where the words begins with the same letter. Now see, print, plow, pp. This is alliteration. Okay. Now here he is asking us, read the poem and find the lines of the following poetic device or write your own examples. See here he is asking us to pick out alliteration from the poem and write, children. We will see. What are the alliterations? If you check line wise, you will find out, children. Filed to fit. One alliteration here. Comma. Filed to fit. Comma. Pull and push. Comma. Print and plow. Comma. Run and race. Comma. Hide and heavens. See, from various lines I have taken the alliteration. Okay. Now coming to assonance. Assonance, vowel sound, children, will see. Oil is all. O sound you are getting. See, oil is all. Comma. Then pull and push. Okay, vowel sound. U sound you are getting. Pull and push. Then weave and heat. Weave and heat. Okay. Okay, children. Now coming to personification. Let us see the lines that indicates personification. Some water, coal and oil is all we ask. Do water, coal, oil, do they speak, children? They don't speak, but author is giving life to it. So that is alliteration, personification. We can pull and push and lift and drive. This is another personification. But remember, please, the law by which we live. This line is also personification. We are nothing more than children of your brain. This is also personification. Okay. Children, simile. I couldn't find any simile in the poem, children. There is no simile. Yes. Simile, comparing, direct comparing, where the word like and as appear, it is a simile. Now, coming to the poem, children, see, you have to memorize this full poem, children. It is a memory poem. Once again, I am trying to remind you, it is a reminder. Do memorize this full poem. Children, all the 5 stanzas you have to memorize. Yes? Yes, children, I want you to memorize all the 5 stanzas. Okay. Hope you would have understood the poem, children. Meet you in the next class.